द वॉचर्स में आज हम हैं टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट में। टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट यानी कि वो संस्था जो यरूशलेम में परमेश्वर के नए मंदिर को बनाने के प्रयासों में लगी हुई है। और टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट ने यरूशलेम के अंदर परमेश्वर के नए मंदिर को बनाने की सारी तैयारियां जो हैं वो आज पूरी कर ली हैं। परमेश्वर के मंदिर के सारे पात्रों को, सारी चीजों को टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट के द्वारा तैयार आज किया जा चुका है। और द वॉचर्स की इस कड़ी में हम आपको टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर रब्बी खायम रिचमैन से रूबरू कराने जा रहे हैं, जहां पर हम रब्बी खायम रिचमैन से सीधे सवाल पूछेंगे और इस बात को जानने का प्रयास करेंगे कि परमेश्वर का मंदिर कितना शीघ्र यरूशलेम के अंदर तैयार होने जा रहा है। भारतीय मसीही कलीसिया के इतिहास में पहली बार टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर रब्बी खायम रिचमैन का एक्सक्लूसिव इंटरव्यू केवल द वॉचर्स के ऊपर इस समय आप देखने जा रहे हैं। तो आप देखते रहिए द वॉचर्स। द वॉचर्स में आपका स्वागत है। और आज द वॉचर्स की इस कड़ी में हम हैं टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर रब्बी खायम रिचमैन के घर में, जहां पर हम उनका इंटरव्यू लेने के लिए आए हैं, जहां पर हम इस बात को देखेंगे कि कैसे परमेश्वर के नए मंदिर को बनाने की योजनाएं जो आज बनाई जा रही हैं और कैसे रब्बी खायम रिचमैन जो कि टेम्पल इंस्टीट्यूट के डायरेक्टर हैं, कैसे वो उस काम को अंजाम दे रहे हैं। रब्बी खायम रिचमैन को हम आधुनिक युग के नेहमाया के तौर पर भी जान सकते हैं। हमारे साथ रब्बी खायम रिचमैन हैं, जिन्होंने हमको यह अवसर दिया है कि हम उनसे कुछ प्रश्न कर सकें, ताकि हम इस बात की गंभीरता को समझ सकें कि हम अंत के दिनों में अपना जीवन जो है वो व्यतीत कर रहे हैं।
Thank you, Rabbi. It is very nice and we are privileged that you gave us your precious time. I just want to ask you some questions. And my first question is, why the third temple is so important for the Jewish people?
First of all, according to the Torah, the Bible of Israel, it's not important only for the Jewish people, it's important for the whole world. Because God chose one place on earth to rest His presence, and that is Jerusalem, unlike any other place. And the temple is the secret of world peace, really, because God tells us in Isaiah, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all people." When we read the prophets, every prophet of Israel, the major mandate of each prophet was to tell us that the temple will be rebuilt, and that will usher in a time of unparalleled peace for the whole world. So, as far as Israel is concerned, we have a mission, and the mission is to reveal the presence of God in this world. And that is the function of the temple in the life of mankind, not only of the Jewish people, but of all humanity. It is the focal point of the spiritual energies of the whole world. It's like a portal. It's a place where everyone can come to be refreshed and rejuvenated and to have a real vibrant relationship with the Creator.
Tell us about the red heifer, the newborn red heifer. Is it really unblemished?
At the moment it is, yes, but it is premature to know if this will be successful, because many times these animals lose their color, they begin to turn other color white within a certain amount of time. So it is very positive, very promising as far as the red heifer of Numbers 19 and the whole idea of the ordinance of reinstating purity. But it's still too early to tell. But we are hopeful that this will be successful.
So, what is the connection between the third temple and the Messiah?
Actually, I don't believe there is one.
Okay.
I think that this is a common misconception. I think that many people are under the impression that only the Messiah could build the temple, or that when he comes he will rebuild it, that isn't exactly accurate a description, because really the people of Israel are commanded to build the temple. And too many times people use the Messiah as an excuse for not doing what they're supposed to do. You know, like he'll take care of everything. What is he, like the boy who cleans up the table? You know? So our job is to build the temple. If it happens that we haven't succeeded and the Messiah comes, then he'll see to it that it's done. But it's not his problem, it's my problem. So throughout the ages, people look at the situation and they assume that because the geopolitical reality is so complicated, they think the only way that this is going to be solved is if the Messiah builds it. But that's an excuse, because our job now is to build the temple.
So, is the dedication of the temple altar shows that we move much closer to the rebuilding of the temple?
Look, we're living in a time when there is a very great arousal and interest in the temple. It's a generation that is very much focused and it's very dedicated on the temple. There's a great deal that's going on, a great deal more than ever before is happening in our generation towards the rebuilding of the temple. And the project of the altar is just another indication of the fact that we are doing as much as we can now.
Are all the preparation for the temple are over?
We've been working for 30 years to restore as much as possible. We have now the details that are needed on the most basic level. We have the minimum requirements. If the temple were to be built immediately, we could begin already the divine service with what we have now. There are many projects that we're involved with in terms of preparation, education. Much is related to science and research, architectural plans, and it becomes very complex, but the basic necessities are already in place.
Okay, there is much controversy on the location of the Holy of Holies. So does the temple stands on the rock under the dome of the rock, or it shifted on the direction of the eastern gate?
So there are different opinions about this subject, but according to the opinion that is most authoritative, based on our knowledge, which there's no question about the fact that the Dome of the Rock is located over the site of the Holy of Holies. It's absolutely certain.
So there is a move in Israel to prepare the ground for the Messiah. So do you think that it is also a sign of the coming of the Messiah?
I think that what you're describing is a publicity stunt. I think it is a very periphery kind of movement. It's not taken seriously. There's a very big difference between the work that we are involved with and preparing a crown. The work that we're involved with is a commandment here in the Torah. It's a biblical commandment. God commands us in Exodus 25:8, and you shall make for me a sanctuary, and then all the descriptions of all the appointments that are necessary is divine ordinance that we are to fulfill. There's no commandment here to prepare a crown for the Messiah.
Yes.
And nowhere are we instructed to do anything like that.
So are we the generation which see the rebuilding of the third temple?
I'm not a prophet.
No, I'm just taking your ideas.
So I would like to think so, but I don't know. But on the other hand, again, we are like part of something very, very massive on the timeline of the Almighty. If it would be, that would be a wonderful privilege. But whenever that is, we are part of something. We're doing our job. And every generation contributes to that. If we are to see that, if we are to be the generation that sees that, you know what, we may be, and we may not be, because it's really up to God. But as I was saying, the important thing is that we do what we can do. And when God in His timing wants this to happen, it will. But we do our best to be contributing. Every generation has a contribution to a process. We're part of a great process. So it would be wonderful if we could be that generation. It would be a great blessing. But in the meantime, we are not forfeiting or losing anything by doing that which we are required to do. We do our best, and the best way that I can explain it, we are contributing something in our generation.
So you just give us a short message to Indian Christians, just to motivate them to help the Temple Institute in the rebuilding of the temple by their prayers and by their financial support.
Again, the temple is the hope of mankind. The greatest promise that God makes when we read about here, if we open up the Bible to the book of Isaiah, and we read about the time of the temple, and the way it's described here. In the beginning of chapter 2, the prophecy that Isaiah son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem will happen at the end of days. The mountain of the temple of the Lord will be firmly established as the head of the mountains, and it will be exalted above the hills, and all the nations will stream to it. Many people will go and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of Hashem," that is the Hebrew for the Lord, "to the temple of the God of Jacob, and He will teach us of His ways, and we will walk in His paths. For from Zion will the Torah come forth, and the word of Hashem from Jerusalem." And again, every prophet tells us that when the temple is rebuilt, it will usher in a great period of harmony and understanding, when the knowledge of God will cover the earth like the water of the sea. This is the time that mankind collectively aspires to. And the temple really is the hope of all mankind. We live in a time of tremendous spiritual chaos and destruction. And our goal is the restoration of the honor of God. And so we're very humbled and privileged to be able to send this message to our brethren across the world, that they should understand that we represent this great goal of humanity to be able to bring about the restoration of God's honor. And it's like when the temple is built and all humanity comes there to partake of this revelation of God's presence, it's like a family reunion in the family of man. And this is our prayer, and this is, God willing, our goal, and we're very appreciative of the desire on behalf of India's Christians to participate in this. And we send our blessing from Jerusalem, which is the source of all blessing, that may we see these verses fulfilled in our time.
Amen. So thank you, Rabbi. Yes, you just gave us your precious time to us. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Shalom, shalom.
तो वॉचर्स के अंदर आपने इस बात को देखा कि कैसे रब्बी खाइम रिचमैन ने हमारे प्रश्नों के उत्तर दिए, और आपने इस बात की गंभीरता को भी समझा कि कैसे उन्होंने अंत के दिनों का जो यहूदी दृष्टिकोण है वो हमारे सामने रखा है, और कैसे उन्होंने इस बात के बारे में भी बताया कि जिन बातों के बारे में इंटरनेट के ऊपर भ्रांतियां फैली हुई हैं उनको भी उन्होंने हमारे सामने क्लियर किया। तो हम रब्बी खाइम रिचमैन के बहुत ही ज्यादा शुक्रगुजार हैं कि उन्होंने अपना कीमती समय हमको दिया ताकि हम यहाँ पर आकर के उनसे मिल सकें, और ये बड़ा अनुग्रह परमेश्वर ने हमको दिया कि हम इन बातों को जान सकें जिनको जानना भारत में हमारे लिए मुमकिन नहीं है। तो द वॉचर्स में अभी के लिए इतना ही। एक बार फिर से अगली कड़ी में आपसे मुलाकात होगी।